Hi there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you a Dollar Tree Valentine's Day sign makeover. I transformed this heart sign from the Dollar Tree with scrapbook paper, ribbon, and snowball tulle. Let me show you how I took this sign from very ordinary to extraordinary, very easily and with minimal cost. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you are not currently, and as well, give this tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoy the video content, and tell me in the comments what you think of my Dollar Tree transformation. Okay, let's look at the items that you will need to create this piece. I picked up this sign at the Dollar Tree. It's about 12 inches at the fullest width of the sign, and it appears to have another wood sign on top of it in another heart shape, but that's going to be a funny thing when you see what it actually is. But I like the piece. I didn't like anything about it other than the shape. It has scalloped edges, and I love that. But other than that, not so much. And it's a nice thickness as well. So I'm going to use that beautiful piece of red heart scrapbook paper there from Hobby Lobby. It's in the single, oh my goodness, I can't talk. The single sheet section, which is on sale every other week, 40% off. Now, I have these two hearts here. I purchased these at Hobby Lobby. One of them, this one, is the one I used. That looks very much like the heart that I completely glittered and put in the center of a wreath that I did a couple of videos ago. But now I have a smaller version, and I'm going to use it on this sign. So, like I said, I love the shape of this piece. I love the scalloped edges. I don't like the glitter. I'll tell you how I got rid of all that. Now, I picked up this 10-inch by 10-yard roll of snowball tulle. Now, you might have trouble finding this, so I'm going to suggest you could also just get a plain tulle off of the bolt. Just get about 9 yards, or you may be able to get less. You're going to have to figure out the difference. I don't know how wide a tulle comes on a bolt, but I'll tell you exactly what you need. I used a 10-inch and I used 9 yards, 10 inches by 9 yards of tulle. So however that converts, if you're going to get it by the yard at the material at the fabric store or at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this, what I thought was a wood sign. I'll talk more about that tulle in just a bit. So I took my heat gun out, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a wood. This should come off. And I used my little paint spatula. And I started pulling it off, and I'm like, what in the world is this? Do you see the green? Oh my God, it was like a foam, a piece of like foam material. It wasn't wood at all, okay, which didn't bother me. It really didn't matter to me because of the way that I finished the piece anyway. So I went about scraping all of that off. But I kept that piece because I'm using that as a template because I'm going to cut out another heart and put it in the center. But I'm going to cut it out of a piece of glittered, it's like a foam material. I get it in the felt department at Hobby Lobby. I'll show it to you here in just a bit. But I'm going to be cutting a heart out of that. It's a thick material, and it's very sparkly and glittery, and it's so pretty in the center of this sign. So I'm just taking my painter's spatula there, or scraper, I'm sorry, and just scraped off as much as I could. I took it outside and I took my orbital sander, which I love so much, and I got off everything very quickly, including all that glitter. And there you have it. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing with this piece, as you probably noticed in the intro, is I'm creating a tulle border. Now, like I said, you could use any tulle. You could use white snowball tulle. You could use tulle without snowballs, okay? I guess that's what it's called, snowball tulle, but without the speckles, in plain words. You could use any kind of tulle you like. But I'm going to suggest that you go with at least 10 inches wide. And the reason why is so that you have a nice size border. If you try and use a 6-inch, you're going to have a really tiny tulle border on this sign, and it really looks better with 10 inches. So I'm going to cut 15-inch length pieces. I'm going to scrunch down the center with my fingertips and create a ruffle. I'm going to take 1/3 of a pipe cleaner. I'm going to wrap it around each of the pieces that I scrunch. Now, I'm only putting 1 piece per pipe cleaner because I need to spread out my tulle bundles around that heart. So this is a little bit different than when you're putting it on a wreath. So I created 20 bundles of tulle at 15 inches, and I used 10-inch wide tulle. Now I'm going to take my heart, which I really, as I said, love the scallops on here. So I'm going to carefully go around that heart on the back side of my beautiful red heart scrapbook paper. And I am going to trace around it and then carefully cut that out. I want to get as close to the actual size of the heart as possible because, I mean, let's face it, who wants to use a zip sander on all of those scallops, right? No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so I took my scissors and I took my time and I trimmed that out, and it just sits perfectly on my wood sign. Look how pretty that is. And that snowball tulle looks so pretty on the outside as a border. But I'll tell you, I think it would be very pretty white too. And also, it doesn't have to have the speckles, like I said. Be creative. Think of how you could make it work with whatever supplies you have access to. I was lucky enough to get that at 80% off on the after Christmas sale at Joann's. And that's where I got my tools. So, I realize it's not going to be easy to find that. So I'm giving you alternatives. So I painted my red heart with that Crafters Collection red paint. I also painted the edges of my big heart. Now, I don't, want to leave that wood edge on there, on that wood heart. So I just did one coat and I went around the edge of the big heart with that red paint. So now what I'm doing is there's the word love going down the middle of that, or going across the middle of that heart. So I thought I would glitter that just to have it stand out a little more. So I took a small paintbrush and some Mod Podge, and I painted on Mod Podge on the letters LOVE. Now I'm using a fine red glitter, and I'm sprinkling it onto that Mod Podge before it dries, of course. And that's going to make those letters stand out on that little heart. And it looks really pretty. Okay, here's my really ugly little heart that I took off of that Dollar Tree sign. But I'm using it as a template, so it's valuable to me. But what I'm doing is I'm not tracing around all of those little scallops. I'm just tracing generally around the perimeter of that heart just to get the heart shape. And then what I'm going to do is use my crafting scissors, and I'm going to create the scallops with my scissors instead of trying to cut with scissors around all of those little scallops. So I'm just going around with my pencil here just to get the general shape of that heart. Now this is that sheet of, I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like scrapbook paper, only it feels like a fabric, kind of a foamy type of fabric. Again, it's in the aisle with the pipe cleaners and the felt, right next to the felt at Hobby Lobby. Okay, look how pretty that is. That white sparkly heart. Oh my goodness. This Dollar Tree sign is coming up to another level. Okay, you can see that I painted there. I'm not sure if I showed you that. Maybe I was talking. I'm not sure. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start building my heart. So I take my squirt bottle where I keep my Mod Podge, and I squirted my Mod Podge on there. I take my sponge applicator, which you can get most anywhere, Walmart, Dollar Tree, any craft store. And I want to be sure to get my Mod Podge all the way out to the edges of my scallops, because I don't want my scrapbook paper to be lifting off of my heart. So I'm going to take my time and really cover that very well with the Mod Podge, a nice generous layer. Then I'm going to place my scrapbook paper on my heart, and it's just going to adhere so beautifully with no wrinkles or ripples or anything of the like. It's going to be just beautiful sitting on that heart. That heart, I don't know if I mentioned, but it's definitely heavier and thicker than that crafting heart that they carry at Hobby Lobby. I actually used 2 of those for my last wreath that I showed, but this heart, this is a much better, heavier heart. It's a nice sturdy heart. So, okay, so there you go, and look how pretty that is. All right, now I'm going to use tacky glue to put this one down. This white heart has a weight to it. It's almost as good as if it were wood, if that makes any sense. If you go to Hobby Lobby and you get this crafting, I don't know what to call it. Let's just call it crafting paper. You're going to feel it. It has a heaviness to it. So it's really just as good as if it were like a thin piece of wood in the shape of a heart. Okay, tacky glue on that one. Now I want to get it right in the center there. Oh, look how pretty that is. I really, really love this project. It really evolved from that heart sign that I saw at the Dollar Tree. And regarding the Dollar Tree, if you don't find what you're looking for at one, don't give up. Go to another one, because that's what I do. When I'm looking for something, I don't give up on one, but I'm very fortunate in that I have quite a number of Dollar Trees in my travels, and also Hobby Lobbies as well. So I'm very lucky in that sense that I have access to so many great stores. Also, Joann's is like 2 minutes from the diagnostic center where I work. Okay, so now I'm putting tacky glue on the back of my little wood heart. Oh, that's so pretty. Center it on there, press it down, and I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay. Now, let's see what we're going to do next here. The hanger. All right, so again, I'm using this satin cord, and I'm very, very disappointed because that's the end of it. I used it so much at Christmas. I got it in the Christmas department at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know where I've ever seen it sold anywhere else before. Oh my gosh, I'm going to miss it. So I'm going to use that as my hanger. So I just poked a hole right through my scrapbook paper there from the back side, and I fed my cord through there. I'm going to decide how long I want my hanger. This is how we're going to hang the piece. Once I decide that, I'm going to tie a knot in the end, like so. And then I'm just going to pull it through so the knot is on the back side. And then I turn it over, put a little dab of glue in the hole, and then around the knot. Now I still have to get that pesky sticker off there. And of course, it's not going to come off easily. So I'll have to use a heat gun later and take that off. Now you could finish the back side of this if you want to. You could paint it. That's what I would do if I were finishing it. I may keep this one. Usually if I give it away or if I sell it, of course, then I finish the back. But, you know, it just depends. Okay, so let's talk about the tool. So I scrunch my tool bundles in my hand to collect my tool. And I'm going to place it along the edge of the back of my heart. Now I want about 1 inch of my tool to rest on the edge or the back side of the heart. And then I want my pipe cleaner also to have glue. So I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm going to put a stream about 2 inches long of glue. And then I'm going to rest my tool, about 1 inch of it, into the glue. And then the other inch is underneath the pipe cleaner. Does that make sense? So 2 inches, around 2 inches of glue as I place my bundles around. Now I'm going to space out my bundles about 2 inches because this tool really takes up space, if you get what I mean by that. It's really a great material to use for this type of thing to make a border. All right, so I make sure that my pipe cleaner is all twisted up there to a point. Now, I do wear a finger protector here because, yeah, this is a good way to get burnt when you're working with tulle. So, put your glue around, I want to say 1 3/4 to 2 inches in a straight line going out to the edge of the heart. And as I go along, I position my tool, I collect it. If it's poking up in different areas, let me tell you, tulle is the greatest material. And I just said that, but it's true because you can make it behave, if that makes sense. So that's why I love using it for this project. Okay, remember, you need to have a little bit of glue under your tool and then the glue under your pipe cleaner. So about 2 inches of hot glue, and then pop your tool down and make sure that your pipe cleaner, look how pretty. Oh my gosh. Love, love. Okay, so I'm going to continue all around the piece, 20 bundles. Okay, now I make sure that my hanger is accessible. Now, this really doesn't look bad on the back side, does it? But I'm going to tell you, if you really wanted to finish this off, you could get one of those inexpensive $1.25 wood hearts for crafting and pop it on the back of there. if you wanted to do that, you could do that for another $1.25. I have all of my tulle on now. Look how pretty. I'm fluffing it all up. Oh, I am just loving this. Now, of course, what are we missing here? Yeah, that's right. A bow. So I'm going to be making a small bow with a 2.5-inch wired ribbon. This is a cloth ribbon with white hearts. It's a pretty good match. I tell you, matching reds is not the easiest thing. It's kind of like matching pinks, which makes me a little crazy sometimes. Easter's coming up, and I usually always have the worst time of matching pinks around Easter because I use so much pink. Okay, I'm going to make a 4-loop bow. I'm going to make my loops around, I want to say around 9 inches. I'm going to fold over my loops, pinch it in the center, holding it firmly in the center with my thumb and my index finger, twist my ribbon so I have the right side of the ribbon facing up. And I'm going to create 4 loops and then 1 loop going right down the center. My tails, I want to say I left them around 10 inches. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Apparently, I'm having trouble finding one. There we go. Wrap it around, twist it in the back, and then I'm going to create my center loop. And this bow is going to sit on that heart, I want to say like around 7 to 8 o'clock. I just roll my loop under, press down with my thumb to hold it there until I have my pipe cleaner that I put right through the center, bring it around the back, twist it, everything is secure. Now all I have to do is take that ribbon on top, cut it off from the little spool there, and then I will finish my tails with an angle after I pop it right through that center loop to marry it up with the tail on the bottom. Nice little gentle fold. Bring it through. If you want to learn how to make bows like I do, check out my playlist. I have a bunch of tutorials that focus on making bows. Look at one, practice. Take some practice ribbon, do it with me on the video until you get it down pat. Look at that pretty bow. Now this is going to look very pretty sitting on the lower left side of that heart. Now I'm going to attach it with glue because obviously there's no wreath frame to attach it to. So I put it halfway on the sign, halfway on the tulle. And the hot glue is going to hold that just fine. I put a big blob of it on the back of the bow. And I press that down around 7 o'clock. And then I added a little touch of glue here and there just to get that bow to sit exactly the way I wanted it. And I declare this piece finished. Now, you would never know that was a sign from Dollar Tree. I'm trying to choose my words. I don't want to say it was ugly, but it wasn't pretty. But it had a good foundation, if you will, and that's why I chose it. Always look at Dollar Tree materials like that and think how you could really expound upon them and make them better. I do that often, and look what you can do. $1.25 is the base, the foundation for that piece. All right. And here you have it. One last look. I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I curled my ribbons on my tails. Did you see that? A little bit of curl on my ribbons that are hanging down there. Okay, remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. I tell you, it's just like Valentine's Day on steroids in my craft room. My goodness, I am really churning them out, but I love Valentine's Day decor. So I hope you love watching it, and until next time, you all take care.